A portion of today's video is sponsored by Sheath Underwear. For more information on Sheath, click the link below in the description or wait until the end of this video.
White men in America are 45 more times likely to commit a fucking violent crime than an immigrant. And the media says, well...
You're going to be seeing a lot about this story over the course of the next several days, I believe. Hunter Biden sat down with a young man named Andrew Callaghan, who has a remarkable online presence. Used to have a show on YouTube called All Gas, No Breaks. Now he has a channel called, I believe he owns that now too, but Channel 5 with Andrew Callaghan. A pretty prolific interviewer, talented kid. He sat down for almost 3 hours or just over 3 hours with Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, and made a lot of headlines that you're going to be reading. You're going to be hearing all kinds of stuff about how he told George Clooney to go fuck himself, and David Axelrod, and the Pod Save America guys, and James Carville, and a host of other people. Some of it I agree with. I think some people who are strategists in the Democratic Party need to go the fuck away. Others, I don't know that I agree with his takes, but he is absolutely a son defending his father, and nobody can blame him for that, right? I've had criticism for Hunter Biden, and I've had praise for Hunter Biden. And on the total, on the whole, I walked away pretty impressed. I walked away liking Hunter Biden certainly more than I did going into the interview. And I'm going to play one of those elements, and it has nothing to do with the George Clooney aspect of it all, because I don't think that's what's important. One, I don't think it's important what Hunter Biden thinks really about anything relative to politics, because he's not running for office. He's not going to be in a position to make things worse or better relative to our situation in this country. I think on the whole, this appearance might be more of a net negative because of the fact of the controversy it brings. But he did say one thing that I was wholly impressed by, and it's relative mainly to, it's adjacent to how Joe Biden governed and what kind of a good and decent man he was, what kind of a presidency he has, what kind of legacy he will end up with. These are not directly addressed, but you can extrapolate these from that. And it's about mass deportation and where we are. And then later I'm going to play a clip because Stephen Miller, the ghoulish Stephen Miller, was asked about this particular interview, and he had some shit to say that absolutely needs to be addressed. But first, let's start with Hunter Biden talking to Andrew Callaghan.
What about all those other people? Am I not supposed to feel for someone? Am I going to be like all these Democrats say, you have to talk about and realize that people are really upset about illegal immigration? Fuck you. How do you think your hotel room gets cleaned? How do you think you got food on your fucking table? Who do you think washes your dishes? Who do you think does your fucking garden? Who do you think is here by the fucking sheer fucking just grit and will that they figured out a way to get here because they thought that they could give themselves and their family a better chance? And he's somehow convinced all of us that these people are the fucking criminals? White men in America are 45 more times likely to commit a fucking violent crime than an immigrant. And the media says, well, you got David Axelrod and, Rahm fucking Emanuel. So fucking smart, Rahm Emanuel. And said, we got to understand that these people are really mad. And we got to appeal to these white voters. Rahm, the only people that fucking appealed to those fucking white voters was Joe Biden, 81 years old. And he got 81 million votes, and he did not because he appeased their fucking Trumpian sense, but because he challenged it. And he said, you can be an 81-year-old Catholic from fucking Scranton that doesn't understand it, but still has empathy for transgender people and immigrants. Then nobody said, oh, Joe Biden's going to turn us into a socialist state, no matter how much they said it. But these guys think that we need to run away from all values in order for us to lead. I say, fuck you. How are we getting those people back from fucking El Salvador? Because I'll tell you what, if I became president in 2 years from now, or 4 years from now, or 3 years from now, I would pick up the phone and call the fucking president of El Salvador and say, you either fucking send them back or I'm going to fucking invade. It's a fucking crime what they're doing. He's a fucking dictator thug.
Bukele or Trump?
Both.
Show me where he's wrong. Look, there's a lot of hand-wringing and harumphing from Republicans over the language here when Donald Trump is their golden god. Shut up. If you're offended by the language and not onboarding the message, you got a problem. And I agree fully. This is where he brought me around to be a little bit more soft about who he is, about liking him and his positions, because he is a humanist. He's not wanting the Democratic Party, much like me, to move to the right, to appeal to Republicans. That is largely why we lost this last election. Giving multiple primetime speaking slots to Republicans, conservative Republicans, who just happen to be against Trump. But politically, positionally, they're still who they are. And we gave them those speaking times at the convention. We're sharing a stage with Liz Cheney. What are we doing? We're strategizing by Alyssa Slotkin and so many others to turn our backs on transgender kids, immigrants, who make this country better, stronger, more resilient. And I love hearing that from Hunter Biden. I'm here for it. I want your opinion on it. I'll throw up the number at the end, and you can absolutely comment below. Stephen Miller, and also on the dictator thing, yeah, they are both fucking dictators. Bukele from El Salvador and Donald Trump. Ignoring the Supreme Court, ignoring the rule of law. Kidnapping people with the masked secret police force. Come on. Stephen Miller, the tip of the spear for the mass deportation effort, was asked about this on Laura Ingram's show last night. And he had some choice misinformation and disinformation and Nazi propaganda to spew. Watch this and we'll address his bullshit on the other side.
Your reaction to Hunter Biden's F off comment?
Well, Hunter Biden's father, his administration, presided over the greatest invasion on American soil in American history. The mass theft and pillaging of American jobs, wealth, and security. And you're seeing the results of that with that video footage that we've all watched now of two illegal aliens with serial criminal records that Joe Biden, that the Democrats, the Democrat Party, purposefully let into the country, set free, had custody of, and released. And then they ambushed this brave CBP officer who, despite the injuries he sustained, fought off his attackers. And of course, one of those attackers, you can now see the footage, was dumped by his accomplice in an emergency room after sustaining 3 gunshot wounds. But this is happening all over this country. Joe Biden and the Democrat Party allowed millions of military-age men with criminal records and criminal intentions and criminal ambitions into the country to prey on us, to prey on our cities, to prey on our communities.
To prey on our communities. Oh, twitchy Stephen Miller. A lot of invasion talk. There's no invasion. Invasion is what happens during a war. Stephen Miller wouldn't know that because he never served in the United States military. Too much of a soft-skinned little coward. A lot of crime talk. A lot of gang talk. And maybe he's right. Yeah, look at this headline from the New York Post just from yesterday. Husband allegedly admits to killing wife, hiding body for a month in first ever crime. And then the alleged perpetrator is quoted as saying, "Go big or go home." I wonder, you get the bit, you know what I'm doing here. I wonder if this gentleman, what country he immigrated from. I wonder what his legal status was relative to immigration. Dun, dun, dun! He's a white guy. He's an American. Man whose wife was found decomposing in home, worked for local school district. Floresville Independent School District confirmed Charles Bird, 49, worked as a master plumber. This is what they always want to do. is they want to demonize brown people and black. They're eating the pets. They're eating the cats and the fucking dogs. They want to demonize and vilify and otherize immigrants in this country, migrants in this country of any status. They're kidnapping and disappearing people who are here legally with green cards. They're not in it for some noble cause to address violent crime. They don't care about that. But low information or already motivated people who don't want to, who are racists, who are xenophobes, they will run away with every incident of crime, violent or otherwise, that's committed by a migrant and ignore all the native-born stuff, because all of the statistics bear out that first generation people here, whether they be illegal or legal, whether they go through the right way to do it or not, they commit crimes at far lower rates than native-born Americans. It takes until like the third generation until crime starts being committed at the same rates as native-born. Good for Hunter Biden. You know, and I can overlook all of the bad words that he says because I'm an adult. It's the points. It's what he's saying. And I'm more of a fan now than I was yesterday, I'll tell you that. I wonder what you are, where you are. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Hey, if you want to sit down for a fewer than 3-hour interview, less than 3 hours, I'm here for you, Hunter. Got a studio right here in Washington, D.C. Anyway, I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another. All right. Now that we've talked about all of that, I want to talk about something that's genuinely improved my daily comfort. You know how I'm always saying we should follow the evidence? Well, I've been wearing Sheath apparel now for well over 2 years, and I have to say the evidence isn't just convincing, it's transformative. Let's face it, I hate buying underwear, and I'm sure you do too. Everybody hates buying underwear. With Sheath, you can stop dreading that purchase because you'll have quality, durable apparel that lasts. Once you experience the Sheath difference, you'll wonder how you ever wore anything else. What makes Sheath different? That's the question. They're the original creators of pouch underwear technology. Now, I'm not going to get overly detailed here. It makes me a little uncomfortable, but it's essentially providing proper anatomical support that traditional underwear simply doesn't offer. Plus, Sheath donates a portion of every single sale to men's mental health initiatives, something I think many of us can appreciate the importance of. And it makes a noticeable difference whether you're sitting at a desk analyzing political developments for hours or just going about your day. And Sheath isn't just for men. They've developed an impressive line for women too, using the same principles of thoughtful design and premium materials. What I particularly appreciate about Sheath is their commitment to quality. These aren't disposable basics. They're using high performance fabrics that last, and their ethical manufacturing practices align with values that many of us in this community share. If you're ready to upgrade your underwear drawer with something that's actually engineered for comfort, head to sheath.com and use code Dollemore for 20% off your first order. My team and I have switched to Sheath, and honestly, it's one of those small changes that makes a surprising difference in your day.